What's going on YouTube? It's Brayzon back here with another video for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys want to hit a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new here, and leave a comment letting me know you subscribe so I can welcome you to the family. And that being said, cue intro. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Madden 20 video for you guys. Here today I will be showing you guys how to beat one of the full games, which is going to be this playing catch up. I will be doing it on the legend difficulty. We can see that it is here on every single difficulty, but they are easier, obviously every difficulty. So this one, do not use more than 5 rushing plays, score 15 points, and force a turnover. And then you have to do it on veteran and then legend. I will go ahead and read it to you guys and then we will do it. So we're going to go ahead and put this, score 25 points in the first half, do not throw more than 4 incomplete passes, and force a turnover. So this is actually really easy to do. They make it seem harder than it actually is. So we're just going to go ahead and hop in. So it is going to be more of a full game commentary. Just keep that in mind. It is more of a full game, but once you guys kind of understand it yourself, you obviously can do what you want, do what's going to benefit you and everything like that in terms of watching certain parts to figure out how to do it better or what you need to do to get ahead. Because really what you want to do is, since you start down 40, is you just want to get ahead. Soon as you get ahead, then you're good to go. You know that you can just pretty much run the clock out in sim clock. I don't know if it's 40 Excel clock or 30 Excel clock in here, but we know force a turnover, do not throw more than 4 incomplete passes, and then score 25 points. So 4 incomplete passes should be pretty easy not to do, to be completely honest. So like I said, you start down 40, we're just going to go ahead and sky kick it, which there's a lot of wind in here as well. So you don't want to kick long field goals if you don't have to. Wow, that's actually really bad that it goes all the way to the 30. So what we're going to go ahead and do is start off by going to punt block, or field goal block is what I mean, base block right. Then we're going to go ahead and audible to punt safe and pretty much do this method. So you want to try to return it every time you get a pick, to be honest, just because it'll speed it up. If you don't get a pick, it's not a bit. If you don't get a touchdown, it's not a big deal. Like if I get stopped here, just try to go down the field and score. Personally, I would try to run the ball if you can, just because of the fact if you do pass it, you only can have 4 incomplete passes. So, if you start passing too early, you might end up, losing it later on or something like that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just start running it early. I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to win this. We do have to score, I believe it is 25 points in this half. Let me just check that real quick, but I believe it's 25 points in this half. Yeah, so you have to score 25 points in this half, which is 4 touchdowns. So our goal is going to be 4 touchdowns in this half. So we're going to see if we can go ahead and do this and get a touchdown, which that was a terrible juke by me. So you probably want to hurry up offense as well. It's still going to sim a little bit of clock, but it's not going to sim too much. Like I said, you're definitely able to do PA crossers or something like that if you wanted to as well. Personally, I'm just going to go ahead and run it, just because Eric Dickerson, I'm really confident in his ability to actually just go ahead and run the ball and actually get the touchdown. So let's go here and get Eric Dickerson in there. Can he actually get in the end zone? And that's already 1 touchdown. So like I said, we're going to need 4 of these. If you get a pick 6, it will be easier to do, because obviously if you get a pick 6, then you don't have to play any offense. You get the ball and you just get another pick right back to back. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this in. Like I said, the wind is actually pretty strong in here. So, it shouldn't affect you too much if it's straight. If it's to the side, obviously just follow the vibrations and things like that of the controller to try to stay in between the goalposts. Going to do the same thing right here. Just going ahead and sky kick it. If you can get a hit stick or something like that, obviously go for it as well. You don't want to give up a lot of points, really any points if possible, because if you do give up points, then you're going to put yourself at a huge predicament. So once again, we're going to go base block right. As soon as we see them audible punts, we switch to punt safe, and then we're going to go out here. We're going to go into the slot over here and then bait it on the outside. So he actually didn't throw it yet, so he did just throw it, and Tillman is going to whiff the pick, which is not the worst thing. You can still get a stop on the next play, and to be honest, you would have got it deep down the field, so this might help us with getting it actually further closer. So right here, that's actually, best case scenario, because we get it running towards the end zone, and I think we'll actually be able to get in here pretty easily, and just like that. So our goal is going to be to try to get 6 touchdowns is 42 points in the first half. I think it's 6 touchdowns. That's going to be our goal. It might not be possible. We might only get 5 in the first half or something like that. Maybe even 4. We have to get 4 no matter what. Like I said, if we can get 5 or 6, that's going to be our goal. But if we only get 4 at least, then we know we'll be able to win the second half. So in the fourth quarter, you don't want to have to play at all because of the fact that this punt block does not work anymore. They start throwing other routes on you when it comes to the fourth quarter. They start running different offenses and things like that. So you want the ball to be in your hands and be chewing clock by that time. So that's why I'm going ahead and do this. Right here, we're going to go base blocker right again. And I do know this is pretty tedious. And I know this is definitely something that some people will pick up on, within a minute or two. Obviously, the reason I do this, I always explain in every video, is I just like to show you guys exactly how I'm going to do the full game. Not skip around and just show you, maybe highlights, and then you guys are wondering if they scored or if something happened or if I'm running different plays that I'm not showing or things like that. So that's why I run every play exactly, calling play call and things like that to show you that it is possible to, and that I'm not fibbing it or, doing it on an easier difficulty or anything like that, showing you guys that I'm doing legend, but really I'm not, or something like that. So as we see, that's 3 touchdowns. We're still have 2 minutes in the first. So if you have a good safety or whoever you have that can get those picks right there on the outside guy, it's going to make your job really, really easy. As we see, we already got 3. So I think we'll actually be able to get 6 touchdowns in this half, hopefully. But as soon as we get 6, we're chewing the clock the whole game, and the rest of the game will go really fast. So it does take a little bit longer to do these games, especially these ones, because of the fact you do have to actually get those. You have to score 5 or 6 touchdowns at least. So that does make the game a little bit longer than we would all want. But it is what it is. You get good rewards from the gauntlet if you actually want to finish it. So right here, we're going to let them do this once again. Throw it, and we're going to get this pick. So we're going to go get another touchdown. Once we get our 28, we definitely can sim clock in this half as well. What I mean by that is instead of running back and getting touchdowns, we could fall down and chew a little bit of clock on the drive. So that's definitely something you can keep in mind depending on how much time's left, where you get the picks at, and things like that. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that on the next drive. I'll do it. So right here, we already got our 28 or over our 25 that we wanted. So you don't want to kick field goals or anything like that. You want all touchdowns because 6 straight touchdowns. My math is completely off. 6 straight touchdowns will get you a win on this. So, and this is the hardest difficulty. So obviously the ones that you start down 20 points, you would have already been up by now. And then you're able just to run the game out the rest of the way and things like that. So every difficulty is going to get easier and easier or harder and harder depending on which way you do them. I usually tend to start on the harder difficulties. That way it's a little bit easier when I actually go to the easier difficulties instead of the other way around. So right here, we're going to get a pick, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean by just falling down, which actually he might fall down by himself. So right here, we're going to break out of that, but we're just going to fall down right here and chew clock. So we know we need 2 more touchdowns to win this game. Not a big deal. We can see if we check this with the challenge goals that we already did to force a turnover and score 25 points in the first half. Do not throw more than 4 incomplete passes. So our goal is obviously not to throw the ball. So if I could score on 1 play, I still will. But if I am going to get tackled, we want to chew clock, because it is a 40 play clock. So right here, if we're going to get tackled, right there, boom, chew clock. And then we will be able to run 1 more play and then go into the fourth quarter. So once again, we'll go ahead and run this, which, like I said, if I could score a touchdown, I will. But if I can't, then I will go down, no problem, because now we'll chew the clock. I'll let this go to the next quarter because we know we could still get 2 touchdowns really easy. You guys saw how easy it was to get those touchdowns. I could have already probably had another one if I was trying to get a touchdown off the pick. If not, this is the best method, just to chew clock, because you don't want to give yourself too much time on the clock. You don't want to make this game longer than it has to be. It's probably going to take you 15-20 minutes. Kind of depends on how lucky you are with all these plays, especially this one, because you do need to score 6 touchdowns. It is going to be longer, but at least if you do this and we're chewing clock, by the time they get it, we'll be able to chew clock basically to the half, score that last touchdown, hopefully before half. And then I think we'll get the ball in the second half. We should, at least, because we did kick off. And they shouldn't have to touch the ball in the second half, so that would be best. So right here, we're going to let this go under the 2:40 mark. Right here, just because that way it goes under the 2-minute mark if we don't score, which we are going to be able to score right there, it looks like. So we go ahead and get in. So this first half is obviously going to take a lot longer than the second half. Right here, boom. Go ahead and kick it in, which we have the +12 speed on this side, so you could kick it from a lot further if you wanted to. And as we see, we're already only down 5. So you don't have to score touchdowns, obviously. You could definitely kick field goals if you wanted to, because of the way you just can't do the incomplete passes. As long as you score 28 points or 25 points in the first half, as well as get a turnover, you're totally fine. But the touchdowns is just going to be the easiest way, in my opinion. So we're going to go for a pick here, and then we're going to try to shave down this clock close to half and then score. That way we can just go to half as fast as possible. So same thing, we're just going to go here. And this team, even though this is on the veteran or the legend difficulty, they're pretty slow. They're not that good of a team. I don't know if it's like the base Bengals or what it is, but they're pretty easy to beat, in my opinion. So I will fall down on this drive instead of getting touchdowns. I'll show you guys what I mean by that if it comes. If I'm not going to get tackled and I was actually going to bust it for a touchdown, I will just fall down. That way I can waste a lot more time off the clock. So right here, instead of making a juke and doing anything crazy, I'll just go right there, and then I'll fall down. We know that we do need one more touchdown in this half, but we want to waste as much time as possible, like I said. So right here, sim that out to 2-minute warning, and we know it's like, what, 4 more plays I think you have to run mathematically. I forget. I think it's 4 plays. I don't know. It's 1, and then you'll sim down under this 120 mark. You'll be able to hand it off again to go under the 40. So it might be 3 plays, honestly. So I think it might be actually 3 plays. So we're going to let this run down just a little bit more right here under this 120-ish. That way when we run up the field. So we do know we need a touchdown, obviously. Right here, we're going to let it go under this 40 mark. So it's going to go under the 40 mark by the time we snap it, basically. And then we're going to run one more play and try to score. So on this one, now we're trying to score. So now I'm going to take off 2 clock. So now we're so close that I'm not worried about actually getting it in, even if it sims a little bit of time left. So it depends how confident you are. To give yourself time. Obviously, boom, just like that, first play after it was a touchdown. It depends how confident. If you're not that confident, you might just want to try to score a little bit, give yourself a little bit more time. But I like to run it down because either way, I knew I had enough time to run 4 plays on that goal line. Because I had timeouts and everything like that. But I didn't want to give them that much time because I want to pretty much run a couple plays. I'm going to kick it off, get a pick, run it, fall down, go to half, and then I'm going to just sim out basically the second half by chewing clock and, just basically running it every single time for like 3 to 4 yards and things like that. So right here, base block right, we're going to go ahead and switch this. 81 speed, 83, 82, 77. Like I said, for whatever reason, the Bengals are pretty bad in this, even though they're on legend difficulty, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Go for another play, which I do have lurker on him. So it does make it a lot easier for sure, guys. I don't know if you guys have lurker, but if you do, it's definitely going to make it easier. This is obviously a 96 Pat Tillman powered up, so he is a really good card. Right here, we're going to go with our inside zone. And then just fall down, like I said. I just wanted to get yards. That way my X factor didn't go away. And then right here, go to half, let it sim to half, and we should get ball. I hope we get ball. If not, you just have to do the same thing one more time to get the ball back. So we do actually get ball. So now I'm going to try to fall down as far as possible. So let's see. The 12 wind is probably going to kick it short, but I figured. So this is the 20 right here. So let's go 15, about the 10, which hopefully he could fall down and stop breaking all these tackles or do whatever the heck he's doing. So we're up 2 points, and now we just basically chew clock. Run whatever run play you want. This is just personally the play I run. It doesn't really matter. Run this right here. Get about 5 to 6 yards because you don't need you can basically use the whole field because we're not giving the ball back. You don't want to gain too many yards on one play, but you do want to give up some yards or, get some yards because you don't want to put yourself in like a 3rd and long and then end up having to pass or not getting it and being in a 4th down or something ridiculous. So we'll see here. This half will literally take maybe 3-4 minutes, something like that. I don't know exactly, maybe even 5 minutes, but this half is a lot faster than the first half. The first half is going to take you most of the time, probably 10-11 minutes, because you have to get a lot of those touchdowns. Like I said, the easier difficulties will definitely be easier to actually do it on because you only need to score 20 points. So you only do it like 2-3 times, score touchdowns, and then you sim out from there and go fast from there. So right here, I'm going to let this clock run because we want to hit it under this 120. That way we only have to run more play after this to get to that 4th quarter. Let's just run outside, fall down. That's 7 yards. We're good to go. Inside zone once again. And we're going to let this run under that 40 clock. So they will use their timeouts as well because it is only a short or a low scoring game or a low deficit in the game. If it's more than like 20, I think it is, or something like that, they won't go for it. If maybe more than 2 touchdowns, if it's a 3-score game. But if it's only a 2-score game or a 1-score game, they definitely call timeouts usually. So right here, quarter end, like I said, that quarter maybe took like a minute or two. And then right here, we're just going to run this clock out as well. So boom. Didn't mean to dive forward, but it is what it is. Not a big deal. So we know we want to get this under 20 once again, because then we only have to run one more play to actually get to the 2-minute warning, I believe, if my math is correct. So right here, it's going to go under 240, I believe, if we sim clock. Yeah, it'll go under 240 with if we wait a couple of seconds. And then we will do the same thing to get it to the 2-minute warning. So let's go ahead and hike it. Get up the field just for a couple of yards. Don't go out of bounds also. Make sure you don't go out of bounds, because you will stop the clock. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world if it happens. You're not going to lose a game or anything like that, but it just makes you take a little bit longer. Instead, if you just, stay in bounds, it'll stop. So right here, now we know they are going to call their timeout. So what I'm going to try to do is get their timeouts gone, and then you just want to get one more first down and the game's over. Then you can just take knees. So right here, we're not going to get a first down on this play, even if I could, which it doesn't look like I can anyways. They're going to call timeout. So now it's third down. And you still have your 4 passes. So the great thing about this is you still have your 4 passes. So if I wanted to pass right here, I could. But this hole is huge anyways. We're going to go ahead and take that. They're going to call their second timeout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run just a little bit of yardage, but I'm not going to get a first down on here. So I'm going to try to get some yards and fall down. They're going to use their last timeout, and now we're just going to end the game, guys. So inside zone once again. Once we get a first down, game is over. We can start actually kneeing down. So right here, if we could ever fall down, if Eric Dickerson wasn't trying to go for 300 yards. And now we can actually take knees, like I said. So I don't know if it'll be, it probably won't be there. So QB nil. It'll go under here, so we just knee down. Boom, easy money. And this is how you do it, guys. So it's super, super easy to do, like I said. This is the hardest one, so this is going to take the longest. So if this is about 17 minutes or something like that to do, just assume the other ones are going to be shorter, because you don't have to score as many points, so it's not as much stopped clock and things like that. That's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions. Pretty straightforward if you do watch the video, so hopefully you guys made it here. Leave a like, subscribe, turn on that post notification bell, and as always, guys, I'll see you next time.